Good morning, everybody. Shall we get going? Okay, so I'm not going to go crazy today with trying to implement new systems or anything. Okay, let me just get my windows up here. What I want to try and do... Okay, so I still have a couple of bugs. So first of all, I just have to fix those. But then I kind of just want to fiddle a little bit with the UI to make it look nice. Because... or nicer for now. Because I think I'm kind of at the point where... You know, this is... I'm kind of at my... Well, I'm at the end of my UI arc, let's just say. Very close to it. So I want to just, you know, put in a little bit more time to make things look nice, feel nice, as much as I can. Fix all the last couple of bugs, and then I'm done. Right, then I'm gonna go back to gameplay, and I'm gonna try and figure out how to make the game more fun. Whether it is by through balance, you know, just making balance adjustments until all of the systems that I've included make sense and work well together. The various items and furniture and character stats and all this stuff. So that's the next focus, I think. And then also, you know, just doing things to make it feel juicy, I think is a good word. You know, whether that is hit effects or sound effects, visual effects, whatever I can do to make the game feel more alive, less stiff, more fun in general, like the actual gameplay. So that's where we're heading, I think. So yeah, I really want to get done with the UI stuff, right? It's been a while now. So maybe I won't do everything today to finish off the UI, but I want to do enough to get it into a state where we can kind of continue. Yeah, no, if I think about it, there's still a lot of stuff to do with the UI. Just for instance, just one thing that we can think about now is the tooltip. You know, just seeing information about things appear when you hover over it, right? That's not something I actually have in the game. For most things, I do it for the runes and that's it. But all these rooms and stuff like that, who knows what they do, right? Who knows what this unlock button does? Who knows what any of these things actually provide you at the end? So, you know, just thinking about that is, and implementing that will probably take a minute. You know, that's not a quick thing. Okay, but first of all, I have a couple of bugs, or a unknown. Well, something happened yesterday. So I was testing the game, showing it to a couple of friends or whatever, and what I noticed was the what is this called? When a character died, right? So I can show you. So let's just run through it. Let's drink some coffee. Okay. So we can do some unlocks here. So I'm a little bit on the fence still with some of the stuff that I'm doing right now. Regarding all these unlockable rooms. Right, obviously I have a lot of money, so I can do whatever I want. And I guess maybe it's okay, right? So what I'm kind of thinking is like you have to do a lot of placements even early on. You need a lot of rooms to get all of these guys actually in a room. Like just check this. I mean, if I do chicken, right? So here's one of the things that I think should be nicer. Like it worked, it did put the chicken in all the right places, right? But it jumps so quickly between. There's no like transition or visual or anything like that to really indicate to me that I clicked on everything. The stuff just disappears. But anyway, so that's the chicken. Now let's see if we can place the owl. We can place the owl there. And now there's 3 spots taken up by the chicken, right? So, okay, well, we put the owl there, and we put the owl, say, in the smithy. And now you can see how this is kind of getting ridiculous. Like if I click there now, almost all the spots on time block 2 are taken. So, I mean, we obviously still have 3 more slots open, but still, you put her there. And now it opens up a little bit more because obviously there are no reservations for the next level. But it gets quite full. It's not the end of the world or anything, and it's fine if you don't have a place to put a bird. They can get left in the default slot. Okay, but here's one of my problems. Okay, so we select somebody to go play with. Now, watch when he dies. So this is Okay, so it still works. Like, you can see, depending on which time block you click on, you can see all the overlapping stuff. Now, I don't know what this is doing. It seems like this time block 1. Okay, so there's a couple of problems here. First of all, okay, he went to the revive station. That's great, right? That's exactly what we want. But my time blocks are kind of messed up a little bit, right? Like, you can see where they are, but so here's my thinking, right? Your character that died should go into the revive station. I think that's okay, and we should see that. But I don't want you as the player to be able to interact with any of this, right? This is not a place where you need to go right now. All you need to do is select one of your birds. So I need to decide. Okay? I need to decide to put in an extra menu or something to select a replacement, right? I need to think about how the replacement is going to go. So first of all, you'll notice that this cooldown is a little bit weird, right? Because it shows you the third slot for the previous round. Okay, when you click on this. Which I am not sure I want that, but anyway. Okay, but the bigger problem here is you can't select any of these birds when they are placed. So this now makes it a little bit weird, because how do I make a decision about who I want to choose to take over? Right, because there's no way for me to see any of their stats. Now, there is one way built in to get rid of them, to get them out, and that is if you right-click. Because right-clicking will remove them from all the... basically from everything, right? And that's fine. Like, I like that functionality. But now here's the other problem. Now Joel over here has been removed. So she's not going to get any other benefits from being in here, right? She's been removed. And let's say I can only see her stats now, and I'm like, wait a minute, I actually don't want to play with her. Then you gotta have to put her back in and then select somebody else, right? So this is kind of a problem. So we need to figure out how to fix this. So you should be able to check or, select a character to take over and then confirm once you've verified their stats and all that stuff. So we have to think about this a bit. Now, one of the first things I think we can do is, again, go to our level prep and just change what happens when you click. Or maybe we can even do a hover for the characters, right? That might actually be very useful as well. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. So on the character, so let's see. So we have our So I guess this would be in the slot itself, right? Well, you know what? Let's do it with the character, right? The character has a icon. Now, in the past, what happened was you could actually click the icon, so the icon was responsible for a lot of things that happened in the game. But I think we could make it so that there's a callback registered on the icon, but just for hovering. So not a pointer down event, but like a pointer entered event. Like what I tried to do here. Right, so let's build that and let's see how that goes for us. Okay, so if we take the icon and we register a callback. Okay, so this is not what's going to happen. It's going to be called, let's see, a pointer. Wait a minute. I didn't even start my time tracker. Let's just go back here. Start. Okay, so this is going to be a pointer enter event. Right, so we just have the pointer entering the icon. Okay. And when that happens, we want to essentially update. Okay, so let's see how we do that currently. So selected character does more character stats, show more character stats, right? So that's exactly what it does with the character. Okay. So private void hover over character icon. Right, and what we want here is a pointer enter event and a character. Okay, and then essentially we want to do exactly this. Yeah, so that will help us somewhat. Right, something like that. So now at least we have this callback registered. So whenever we hover over the character icon, we should see the stats for the icon, for the character. That's very nice. That'll just help us a little bit with some of the information we might need, right? Now, we still need to think about how we want to actually select the character, because currently, if you look at this, the slot clicking. Right, there's no real way if we look at this. So we either have no character selected, right? That is true. We can't click on a character that is technically we could just basically return now, because if the slot that we clicked is the revive station, normally we can still select the character, but you can't do anything with it. And selecting the character in this situation, all that really gave us, well, it kind of just did the following, right? Told us which character we selected, made it go a little bit bigger. But then, so you could select the character, but as soon as you try and click anywhere else after selecting a character, right, if you did this, one of the first checks we do is whether the character is dead or not. And then that happens. Right, so I am kind of in this boat right now. So if you're trying to click on the revive station slot, I kind of just want to say debug.log. Yeah, you can't interact with the revive station. Right, you can't interact with the revive station and just return. Right, so if you don't have anything selected, you click on the revive station, it's just like, nah, I don't think so. And I kind of want to do it over here as well. So because we can click on or we can hover over character icon, so we can still see their stats, right? So that's fine now. Yeah, and maybe we even get rid of this now. Potentially, right? Well, let's keep that. Let's let it still work like that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so if you don't have anything selected and you clicked on the revive station, we have a problem. Now let's see what happens here. Okay, so this is if a character is dead. Don't move a dead character. Okay, so this technically couldn't happen because you can't select a character that is dead. As far as I know. Because they should be in the... Well, okay, let's leave this here because your revive station might overflow a little bit. And that'll cause the characters to go into the... they will go into the default, right? Yeah. So we'll keep this here. That'll still work out. Okay. So now we should have a little bit of a pop-up thing, just hovering will change the information. The next thing we have to think about is how we want to do selecting of characters. So now at least we can see the information. But now the next problem would be you need a way. We essentially need to know whether or not the game is, whether you are in a level or not. Right, so let's think about how that would work. So we have the show UI and hide UI, right? So let's think about this. So when the game initializes a new wave, right? We initialize the time blocks, the waiting room, revive station, move hospital character after end of level. That's great. Otherwise, we just show current active time block. Okay, so we do this. Which just removes dead character from next level slot, I guess. Now I also want to do something else here. When we... Where is this function? Okay, so we do update the time block visual. Okay. Okay, so this is okay, here's one of the other problems. So I want you to be able to see which... Okay, so when we show the time block, we have this, right? Where we go, if the current view time block is equal to 0, we do this, right? To show it, right? We check the last time block previous level thing. Let's see. So if last time block previous level is not equal to null, so this would be true, right? So it won't be equal to null, but we need to make sure that we are in a new wave before we show this. So we can do and. So in, yeah, essentially check this, right? Okay. Because this will say new wave at the start of a wave, and then if for some reason we show the level prep UI, so that means a character has died. It'll change this to false, which would mean that we don't actually want to show this specifically, right? We kind of just want to show this side. We don't really care about this side because this side would make the character. It does that weird overlaying thing with the yeah. Just want to see if there's any other place. This is specifically for current view 0, right? It's just the first one that'll have that problem because it's the only one that uses last time block previous level shenanigans. Right, so we can see essentially all our time block selections. Okay, so the next thing we should do is we should be changing the behavior of a slot click. Okay, so let's say a character has died, they were booted, right? Now normally, if you don't have a character selected, so let's see, you don't have a character selected, right? So selected character is equal to null, right? If you click on any character, it says select character from the time block, so it gets all that good stuff. Does it though? So let's just check what this does. Okay, so essentially what I did here is I made it so that you can only select a character from their default slot. Right? So I said if the slot is equal to the character's default slot, well, no problem. Clicked on a default slot with a character in it, so that means we want to select the character. Otherwise, we just return null. Right, which means we can never select a character. Okay, so let's think about this. Yeah, so select character will be called with null, which obviously means none of this works. Okay, so we need to think about how exactly we want to make this work. So I don't think I just want you to be able to click a character and then something happens immediately, right? I kind of want to make a pop-up happen when you click on a slot. So this is a very interesting case, right? So slot clicked. Okay, so there's a couple of things. So slot will be clicked with a selected character equals to null, right? And it's kind of going to have to happen before this. So we have to check for something like if game manager dot instance dot new wave. Okay, so if this is false, right? So if we're not in a new wave, which means we got here after a character has died, right? If this happens, I kind of wanted to do something like a small little pop-up that just says you are about to or do you want to show, are you sure you want to take this character out of the rooms that you planned them for and use them to finish the wave, right? Something like that. I just want it to be something you can confirm. So what we should do here is just have a little bit of a UI pop-up, I think, to confirm whether or not this should happen, right? And on confirming, we can do the rest. Okay, so let's see how we would do that, right? So we are coming back to this screen. And in some ways, I do want us to come back to this screen. Mainly because I want you to be able to go through the time blocks and just check, what's happening. Like, where are your characters? Who has good health, etc., etc. So you can make an informed decision if you don't really remember what the whole thing was, right? Okay, so that's the main container. Okay, so if I just put another visual element and I make it a absolute position, right? So now it's over top of everything. So let's just see. What do we want this thing to have? Well, it should just have a label. And so a label. So actually it should probably have 2 more visual elements. And then a label inside of one, and then 2 buttons inside of the other. Right, so we make it do we just put it in the center of the screen? I think put it right in the center. So we put it like 30% from that side, percentage. So now it's the centermost 40%. Yeah, we could do something like that, I guess. The buttons are a bit ridiculous, but it's okay. Okay, so first of all, the buttons, I don't want them like that. I want them like that. Not quite just, yeah, something like that. Equal spaced. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I should really figure out a way to... Yeah, no, that looks shit. I should make all my buttons look like the same thing. But anyway, this is fine for now. Okay, let's see. Verification button. Okay, we put it over there. So let's just make the buttons look a little bit better. Make this bold, make it nice and fat. Right, nothing too serious. Yeah, I'm just doing no border. Give them a 10 radius, I guess. Okay. Okay, what the hell happened with the verification button? This is pretty annoying, I'm not gonna lie. What? Oh my word. What the hell did this thing just do? Okay, anyway. If we make them grow, they'll just fill this. Okay, that's okay. That is fine. If we give them like a little bit of margin on each side, then they are spaced. Okay. We make this one not grow. Okay, there we go. So now we got our two buttons, and this one can say cancel. And this one can say confirm. Or continue. Something like that. Okay, there you go. I want both these buttons to be the same size though. So let's make them grow to only 0.5%. Okay, cancel and continue. We can even make the cancel. Well, we can give the continue like a green tint, let's say. Do we make the text green? Wow. Okay. Something like that, right? How do we make it so that you can't interact with any of these now? Okay. Well, in any case, we need this thing to have some kind of a background color. black, I guess. I'm just gonna make it black. It's fine. Give it some kind of a border. Well, not a border exactly, but a radius at least. Okay, then we can do something about the text color, make it white, bold, make it like 20. Okay, and I kind of want to do two things here. So the first thing I think is just basically are you sure to continue? Okay, so that's kind of the first thing, and this would just be placed, let's say, centrally. Are you sure you want to continue? And then you can click continue or cancel, right? So that's kind of the idea. So this is the verification cancel. Okay, and this is verification continue. Okay, cancel and continue. This is just the label. I'm gonna leave that one like that. I think we can put, okay, so what we can do now potentially is so let's think about this. So inside this one you can put another visual element, and the idea would be that we put a couple of things here. So first of all, we can put an icon, right? And maybe then another label, right? And we put this thing like that. Okay, and this is gonna be the icon holder, and this is just gonna be the verification text, right? So we just do something like that. And the idea here would be that when you click on a character that you want to select, you essentially have to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the character icon and then have some text. Like, you have selected blah, blah, blah to take over and complete the level. They will not gain any of the benefits from the rooms or something like that, right? Some basic text, just so we understand what we are about to do. So all of this should go into our verification pop-up. Hey Ahmed, how's it going? I'm doing well, thank you. I'm doing well, thank you. How about you? What are you up to? Are you doing well? Are you feeling good? Okay, let's make this text white as well, because we can't see the black on black text. Could we make this bigger? Yeah, we can, but not that much. Okay, then we should also maybe change the size of the icon holder. So it can grow. Let's say growing to a percentage. I mean, this label is gonna be holding a lot of information technically, so let's just make it grow as well. What's happening? This doesn't even make any sense. How is this making sense? How is any of this? Okay. You know what? Unset that. Okay. So we make that one grow and that one grow, then they kind of take up. And we give it a shrink value. I don't know. It's so weird sometimes. Okay, let's just give it a size. So width of 50%. And then we don't let it grow, so it'll just take up 50% of the space. What am I working on? I'm working on UI currently. So I just want to make the user interface look and feel somewhat acceptable, right? So this is just a little like a verification text pop-up that I want to do. Because currently the game's kind of broken in a way. I'll show you. So the game itself is it's a party survival roguelike game. Party as in you can have multiple characters in your party. And what I'm currently doing, this is just some level. So there's a level prep room. So before a level starts, you need to choose which one of your party members are going to go fight. And you also need to kind of figure out what the rest of them are going to do, right? Because they can't just sit around. So I've implemented this system where there's like a waiting room and they can go to the gym or, you know, whatever they want to do, which also benefits them. So there's like a different type of mechanic that gives your characters the stats they need. But it's a roguelike, but you know, most roguelikes, death would be permanent. And in this one, death isn't permanent. And the reason for that is because we have a party of characters, right? So you can lose a character, but there's the potential to revive them. However, you need to, you need to be able to revive them, right? So I have this revive station. And when a character dies on a level, you need to be able to select another character to take over from them. And this is kind of what I'm trying to figure out now. Like, what am I gonna do to make it possible for you to select the next character? So I'm building a little pop-up menu here to make that possible. Let's see how that goes. Okay, so this is just like, okay, are you sure? And then we can do something like, you know, character name. Character name will not get any. Okay, here we just need to make sure that we let the text low. Okay, it doesn't seem like we'll not get any further room benefits. If they take over in the fight. Now, why is the text... Oh, wait, I changed the wrong thing here. I need to go to the text and make it do that. Yes. That's right. Okay, and the... Wait. I should make it so that this thing doesn't shrink either. Now, why are you just getting bigger? Okay. That's better. Okay, so that's basically the text. So we have a photo of the character there, and we just basically tell them, are you sure you want to continue? Whatever your character name is will not get any further room benefits. If they take over in the fight. I might have to rephrase that, I don't know. But yeah, something like that. And okay, so this is our verification pop-up. That's our verification text. Okay, all of it seems pretty good. Nice and set up. We have an icon holder, etc., etc. Now, normally this thing will just be not visible. We can even make it, yeah. So normally it will be not visible, right? Okay, so now in code we need to try and grab it and then interact with it in some way. So in level prep, we should have a public. I'm not sure, but let's make it public. You know, it's always a good idea to just make something private until you need it in some other place, then you can make it public. So this is the verification pop-up. I don't know if pop-up is one word or if it's two words. I'm treating it as if it's two words. Okay, so on enable, we want verification pop-up equals root.q. Okay, what are we looking for? Visual elements with the name. Oh, yes, like it. Verification pop up, right? I think I named it exactly that. Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so this will help us just grab that so that we can work with it in code. So let's think, when does that actually happen? So that happens in a couple of ways. So let's see. I started with this. So so we don't have a character selected. We click on a slot. So first of all, we need to grab a character, right? So if there's a character to grab there. So we kind of have to run this. However, this thing will just return null, not that thing. Okay, wait, we don't necessarily have to run a select character. Okay, where's this? But we do have to run time block man. So select character might be not useful. In this case. Okay, so let's think about this. Get character from slot in time block. Okay, so here there's one problem. So first of all, we might get the character, but we only return the character if the slot is equal to the default slot. Now that's fine. And then we return out. But I actually want another one. So if we get here, which means our slot that we clicked on does contain a character, then I kind of want to do this. So I want to check for if our GameManager.instance.newWave is false. Right, again, this only happens if a character dies. It's the only scenario where newWave will be false, because that means, well, it's not the only scenario where newWave is false. The other scenario is at the boss fight, right? Because we have phases, and the boss, you get a chance to select a character during the phases, right? But, okay. So we're going to have to... Okay, so the boss is going to break all of this logic now that I think about it. So we're going to have to figure out how we want to make the boss work. Regardless. So we get a newWave. Right. So So then in that case, we actually do want to still return the character. So let's just do this. Okay, so if we click on a default slot, that's the normal behavior. It'll just return the character. If this doesn't work, it'll try this. If that doesn't work, then it just does the other stuff, right? So clicked. Okay, so this is essentially selected a character to take over in current level. Right, that's exactly what this means, right? So we return the character. Now we need to think about what we actually do with the character, right? So we get a character, that's great, okay? Do we make it the selected character? Maybe not. Maybe not. So selected character is useful because it changed the style of the icon and all that good stuff. So what I think I want to do is make the pop-up appear. Right, so we're gonna have to do verification pop-up.style.display equals display style. Right, it is display style, right? Yeah, display style.flex. Right, so we do that. Okay, but here's the other thing we have to do. So we have to take this character that we got. Okay, so let's say character equals that, right? So we grab a character and we check if it's not equal to null, right? So we need to make sure that we clicked a valid character. Okay. That's the first thing we need to do. So if we clicked on a valid character, we can make the verification pop-up appear. Now, inside the verification pop-up, we have a couple of things, right? So we can get our verification pop-up.queue. Okay, we have a visual element called the icon. Okay, how did I exactly call this? Because the name is important. Okay, icon holder. Okay, so we get the icon holder. And we can add character.icon. I guess that'll work. What will that do? Will that change? Break anything? Well, we'll see if it breaks anything, right? I don't know. Okay, but essentially if the pop-up comes, we can add that. Okay. And what else can we do? Okay, so we need a verification. So then we need to do queue. So let's get the buttons. Okay, so we have two buttons. One is called verification cancel and verification continue, right? Okay. Okay, verification cancel, verification continue. Okay, we kind of want to do a little bit more here. We want to do .click, clicked. Is it a plus equal? Just doing a quick lambda expression here. Okay. So if we do verification continue, what I want to do is I want to do time block manager dot add character to next level slot for all time blocks, and we give it the character, right? That is essentially what we need to do. And we should also start the next level. So yeah, this is a little complicated. It's a little complicated. So normally you have this, but essentially we want all this stuff to have, right? All of this nonsense need to. We can actually copy. Okay, this is not great. Okay, but anyway, we are now copying and pasting code. Yeah, we could make this a small function to just do a start level, or continue, or start level. Yeah, we could just put this in a start level function, to be honest. Okay, but anyway. Okay, so when we click verification continue dot clicked, we let this happen. Now, verification cancel dot clicked. It's gonna have to do something a little bit different. So we set up our little expression here. So when you click the cancel button, the first thing we'll do, I guess, is we'll unflex. So display style dot none, right? So we'll hide this, and it's kind of gonna disappear. Is that all it needs to do, right? If we just make it disappear, that means we're back in the okay, I think that might work. Now I'm gonna have to test this, right? So I'm thinking this will work. Okay, so this is what happens when I click on a slot, and it returns a character. So that means it's not an empty slot. So it does all this stuff. If I click continue, it puts that character into my next level slot, which removes them from everything else, hides the UI, makes the game play again. Right. Okay, we should also do maybe a check here. So if you click the start level button, so I kind of want this. So if game manager instance dot new wave, right? So if it's not a new wave, I kind of just want to debug dot log. Please select a character to continue the wave and to continue with this level. And we do a return. Now the only reason I want to do this is because you shouldn't want to click the start level button, right? You should just be able to click the the pop-up. Okay, I should also maybe do something about a pop-up being up there. So you can't interact with anything if there's a pop-up displayed. Right, so let's make a private boolean pop-up displayed. So it's normally false. Okay, so as soon as we click on this, so we just need to make sure that, like, for slots, right here, if we have a pop-up displayed, we just straight up return. Okay, so that's one of the clickable elements. What else is clickable here? And we don't. What else do we want to break with a pop-up? So if I think about it, the pop-up displayed one, definitely. This one is kind of not going to work anyway. Restart settings main menu. I think those you can always click. So we can also do this, but it shouldn't happen. It could happen. It could happen. Now let's just put it there. I don't want you to do that. Where else do I want to put this guard clause? So definitely on slot click, right? That's one of the most common clicking things we do. Selecting a character. So this is only called with the slot click, so that's fine. Hover over character icon. That's okay. I think that's not a problem. Open shop. Yeah, no, I'm gonna return you if the pop-up is displayed there. Okay, update available runes. That's not a thing. Select rune. Okay, don't want that to happen. Okay, show and hide UI. That's not a thing. Okay, so that I think is most of the things. We'll see if there's something else I'm missing. Okay, now we just need to make sure. Alright, so once we click on the slot and this happens, then okay, so over here. The character's not, then this is flex, so that means pop-up displayed is equal to true. True. Okay. And then pop-up displayed will be equal to false if you did that, or if you did this, right? So if you click on any one of these two buttons, it'll go false again. Okay, so that's that. Now the other thing I want to do is verification popup.q. I want to grab the label. The label is called verification text. Okay, and we want to change the text, right? So we want to make this text equal to string.format. Right, so let's think about, we want we want something like that. So element 0. and this would be character dot actually, where do we store the character name? I don't actually know. Is it in the... This is just a character ID, right? Which is important. The character ID is important, but that's not the name. So we're gonna have to go to the game object, I guess. So we get the game object get component of type character data, as far as I remember. And then character name. I think so. Can't really remember. We can check quickly. I think character, yeah, it's a string. I think it's just, it's like the Rob or Joel or whatever. So we get the character name and we just need to put in the rest of the text as well. So what was all the text that I put in here? So verification text. Might not be completely perfect, but okay, let's do that. So verification pop-up, get the text, set it equal to string.format, character name. Okay, so Rob, Bob, whatever the character's name is, will not get any further room benefits if they take over in the fight. And then we can confirm or whatever we want to do, right? Okay. We also want the verification pop-up when we confirm to go to display style none. Yeah. Maybe we do that even before we hide UI. Okay. I think this is gonna do something. I don't know if it's gonna be amazing, but let's just see what happens when a character dies, shall we? And the hovering over characters should also reveal their stats now. Okay, let's make sure everything is nice and saved. We clear all this. Is everything compiled already? That's just be very quick if that is the case. I mean, okay. I will take it. It is okay. I will accept that. Okay, no errors. That's always a good thing. Nothing weird's happening here. If we hover over the characters, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. So we still can't click them now, but you can hover over them, and that's actually pretty cool. Okay, so I'm glad I did that. Okay, let's just unlock a couple of things again. Let's unlock a sick bed. So let's say that's all you have money for. So we close the shop, right? Okay, so we take Rob over here. Yeah, it is his name. We put him there, and I don't know, in the weight section. Then we take Stacy, put him there. Him. It's probably not a him. Let's grab our duck friend. Okay, so those are all not available there and there. Yeah, so basically we got all the spaces. Okay, we go through and we start. Okay, cool. Oh no, I died. So she's placed over there now. So the idea would be is, I think I want to make these buttons. Right, so first of all, how does that look? So we can see it's reserved, but there's no weird overlapping nonsense because it doesn't work that way anymore. Okay, that's great. That's perfect. I like that. Okay, so we need to choose a character to take over. Right, so the idea would be is as soon as I click... Okay, so if I click there, no character selected. No character selected. There's not a character there, so if I click on any one of these, it should make the pop-up appear. So let's see. That's perfect. Are you sure you want to continue? Rob will not get any further room benefits if they take over in the fight. Cancel. Okay, canceling it didn't put Rob back into the thing. Oh, Rob is still selected. Whoopsie. Okay. So there's definitely some, but it kind of worked, but the cancellation didn't work, right? I think if I verified, it might have worked. Okay, so let's see what happened. So it came through there, and then it kind of did this, I guess, where it got the slot. Did it select him, though? Is that what happened? So this just grabs the character, or reference to the character. Okay, then we steal its icon. Okay, no, no. Yeah, okay, so this grabs the character. Then we steal the character's icon. Okay, which is not a problem, but then if we say this, the icon did return, but did we have then a selected character? Because I couldn't click. I think it did select a character. Oh, maybe it saw. Wait, how did it select a character? This would have been called over there. Okay, so that means we went through this. Oh, we don't have a return. Ah, that's the problem. Okay, yeah. So if we click on a slot, yeah, it actually did went and selected the character. Yeah, because this was possible. We should return here. So if it gets to this clause, it shouldn't. We should return before we breach this. Okay, so that's one of the issues, definitely. That made him selectable. Grabbing his icon is also a little bit of a problem. So what we kind of want to do is put the icon back. Slot dot add character. Maybe? Not sure if that is good enough. So we got a slot, we just add the character back. Because we didn't remove the character from the stuff yet. So he's still in the background, knows in which room he is. We just changed the visual. Yeah, I mean, this gets updated anyway, but he got selected, and that kind of breaks everything then. Okay. Let's try that again. I think it wasn't a big thing, so this could work again. Let's give it a go. Where's my coffee? Take a sip of water then. I should also change that. But anyway, it's fine. Okay. Let's get some nice couches in here. Give somebody a Stairmaster to walk on. Alright, cool. So we close the shop. Okay, you can go to the Stairmaster, then to that stool, then to the gym. You can go there, and then there, and then there. You can go there, and then there, and then there, I guess. And you can go fight. Let's go. You're gonna have to sacrifice yourself. Oh damn, I never unlocked a revive station. Whoopsie daisies. Okay. But he's... Yeah, should be dead. Okay. That's bad. Okay, so there wasn't a revive station available, so he's there now. So we should check. We should check for this. Okay, but It seems like this is at least working, so we can hover over the characters. We can't really hover over these, why not? Why is this not working? Those are character icons, aren't they not? Okay, so there it works if I hover over him like that. Whoa, there's some weird stuff happening now. Whoa! Okay, there are some massive bugs going on here. Okay. So could you just say equals null then? Okay, I'm gonna try that. Yeah, also this doesn't seem to work. I think it's because it does it for all the... So maybe if we just do an time block manager.update time block visual, right? Maybe that's the better thing to do. So when we update the time block visual, let's just see. So it'll go through there and add all the icons for the current viewed slot where they need to be. Maybe that's good enough. Also, I don't understand why I can't see the characters. Okay, but maybe this is okay. It makes sure it's null. It returns. Okay. Let's just try it again. Like the behavior is weird. It didn't really break, which is also strange. But anyway. Okay, so the hovering works over there. Now let's just unlock a couple of things again, put them in these rooms, and see what that does for me, right? So I want to put him in all kinds of places. Right, okay, so now I'm sorted. So this is my setup, but why when I hover over them in there, it doesn't work? I can't click on them. Okay, so the hovering only worked here and not there. Whoopsie. Which I'm not entirely sure why that is the case, right? Yeah. No matter what time block I'm in, these icons don't mean anything. Whoopsie. That's very strange because, okay, so let's just check. The icon registers the callback. Okay, so wait, let's go to where this happens. So it's right here. When we start, we register the callback character, have a character icon character. So this is on the icon itself. Unless... Okay, how do we add the character to the blocks? Let's just check that. So when we click on the block... Okay, so we get the selected character and we add them. Okay, so this doesn't matter. Cooldown, reserved. Someone is in there. So this doesn't really do anything. Okay, yeah, so this just changes it about, but I think the visual. So this one should do something. Update time block visual. Add character. So that is the icon. But the icon loses its hoverability. That is interesting, right? Is it under something? Is it... maybe that is the case. Maybe that... Okay. So this icon... Okay, let's do a UI toolkit debugger. Pick element. Let's go find... Okay, so here we have a visual element. Oh, interesting. Okay, room slot. Okay. Background image. It's very strange. I want to find the icon, but okay, here I can. Okay, that's the overlay for unavailable. Why can't I see? Like for you. Okay, here we go. So there's an icon holder, and we get icon character 1 icon. So there it is. Right, and if I pick this element, icon holder, character 2 icon. So it is there, it's just it chooses to kind of ignore me whenever I try to. I can't hover over it anymore. That's very interesting. I can still remove them, right? And if I hover over them now, it works. Okay, and then I can replace them wherever I want them. Okay, so the hovering is kind of not really working. We'll come back to that one. Okay. So he got placed there. Now, let's say we want the chicken to take over. We click on the chicken. We're like, are you sure? Actually, not quite sure. Okay, and it got refreshed correctly. Are you sure? Actually, I'm not quite sure. Are you sure? Actually, I'm not super sure, no. Let's say, are you sure? No. Okay, you know what? Yes, let's take... Wait, let's take somebody I didn't click on the first one. So if I put continue here, puts him there. Okay, so something is not working. Yo, this guy. How's it going, man? I am doing pretty well. I'm trying to not overdo it today. You know, it's Sunday and everything. But damn, this UI is frustrating. Just doesn't want to work. Or it works a little bit and then it doesn't work anymore. Okay, let's see. Where am I with this? Okay, so slot clicked, character. Okay. Add. Okay, so why does this not work? When I click the continue button. Oh, it's because I'm a dumbass. Okay. Whoops-a-daisies. Okay, let's try this again. Bro. Yeah, I would like to put off the UI as well, but damn. It's ridiculous how long this is taking. I thought it's going to be like a 1 or 2 week thing and then I'm going to get back to gameplay, but damn. I'm close, right? I think I'm at a point where it kind of feels like I've done most of what I need to. So if I can just get this working, because I realized this was broken yesterday. I think I can kind of ignore it for a bit. But you know, it's still flippin' odd. Okay, so this was the problem. I forgot to put the next level character as something. When I clicked the verification button, which means this check failed. And yeah, if that fails, then, well, we can't continue. So, let's try this again. Also, I don't know why the hovering is not working. Yeah, it's a strange thing. Like, look at this. I made it so when you hover over the characters, you can see their stats, right? Which is, I mean, normal. It's not super fancy. However, as soon as I choose one of them to do something, let's just unlock some stuff. So if I put them, you know, into the rooms, like I do, and I hover over them now, it kind of forgot about that. I don't know why. I can still hover over him, but I can't hover over these guys anymore. And I did make it on the icon, which is weird. Because that is the icon. I even checked in the debugger. But they kind of, like if you go here. I don't know if something, like, I don't know if the callback breaks. Or if the... Do I have to register it in a different place? Because I register that callback over here for the icon. And I call the hover over icon function. Right. Which is, I mean, it doesn't really do much. It just does that. So I didn't necessarily need to do that. Maybe because it's private. Yeah, because I take the icon and I move it about place. I don't know. We'll test some things, I guess. Anyway, let's go. I didn't select somebody. Okay, let's try again. Okay, let's go die quick. Okay, so he died, he gets put in there, and now I can click on this guy over there. It's like, are you sure you want to continue? Joel will not get any further room benefits if they take over in the fight. I'm like, you know what, actually, yeah, no, Joel... And look now it works, right? So the hover worked. I'm not sure what happens, or what does that. But anyway, yeah, no, maybe Joel's a bad idea. So let's see Rob. Okay, and you can see here, I get all Rob's information. So Rob kind of works. Okay, so now if I click continue, it works. Nice. Okay, we'll just play another level, I think, because I just want to see if this might only work once and then never again. Because I'm dumb that way sometimes. Okay, let's give them some levels. La la la. Okay, okay. Oak is still dead. Those are on cooldown. Ooh, okay, maybe. So I see a problem. So even though I removed him, I didn't remove him. Okay, so I still have some more work to do. It should have removed him from the other list as well. Okay, but we can do... Oh, wait. Okay, Stacey, go do your thing. You can go do that, that, and that. You can go fight. Let's see what happens if she dies now. Okay, so she goes into a default slot. Ah, wait, yeah, it doesn't. Can I continue? Okay, I reintroduced that bug. Now I have an immortal character. Well, that's bad. Okay. So we have that bug now. So the immortal character bug is back. And what was the other thing that happened? Oh yes, it should remove them from that other list as well. Okay, so that shouldn't be too hard. We could just do in level prep UI. So when you click to select a character, right over here, so we grab a character and we check if the character is null, and obviously return. But we can also just so if the character is not equal to null, then we can do all this stuff, but I should basically just check immediately if character dot game object dot where would we get this? Get component character data. Okay, dot yes, dot is dead. So if the character is dead, we kind of just return there. And we can do something like you can't debug lighting feature. No, just debug.log can't select dead character. Okay, so then we just kick it out, right? We're just like, nope, we're not gonna do it. Cheers. Can't select a dead character. Let's make ch equal null again, just in case. Right, so we return, and then we can't do, none of the other things will happen. There we go. Alright, so that helps with that. And then this add character to next level slot for all time blocks. Okay, we need to make this thing be a little bit more interesting. Okay, so first of all, it goes through all the slots for every single time block, and then it removes the character from those, right? So if it finds a slot, if the slot, it just adds it. Okay, so that's fine. So adds the character, to that slot if we ever get it. But any other slots where we have a character, we just remove it, right? And then we update the time block visual. Now, that's fine. What we should also do, though, is go through the... what is that thing called? It's some list that I made. This last time block previous level. So right here, I think we should do if. So let's just do if. So if our current block is let's do less than block amount minus 1, right? So that would basically mean we are not the current block. And remember, the current block changes with time. So if your character dies and we're already in the last block, then I don't want this to happen, right? So that would mean I still want the thing to be on cooldown. But if this doesn't happen, then we want to go to for each slot character slot character in last time block previous level, and we just want to kind of go if slot character dot character equals character, then we just want to empty that, right? Simple as that. Okay, we just want to empty it. So we go through all the slots, and if we find them anywhere, we just empty it, and that's it. So it's the same as this. It's just this is an extra list that I generate. All right, so we need to go through that list as well. And we only do that if it's not currently the last block. So any other block, we can refresh that one. If it's the last block, we... Okay, so now we need to test that. So we need to do a couple of things. We need to have the character die and select a new one early on, and then we have to have the character die and select a new one later on. Right? Okay, and you can't select a dead character anymore. Well, that at least is the theory. Okay. So let's go have a go. This thing is compiling super quick for some reason. Like, not gonna complain. It is magic, huh? Today it just decided. Today is the day. Okay, let's do something like this. I just want to basically have a bunch of rooms level 1, 2, and 3 so I can remember where I placed them. So let's take Rob, for instance. Okay, let's just close the shop. So we take Rob, we put him 1, 2, 3. So now I'll remember what to look for. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And what? What just happened? Okay, I see now. Oh, okay. So when we add the character to next level slot for all time blocks, we also just need to check okay, so we need to do an AND here. Yeah, because what is our current block even? Our current block would be 0. Yeah, so it's kind of... Okay, but it's the first level. You just need to check that as well, because this thing can be null on the first level. Okay, so let's just give it a chance. Yeah, so on the first level this is null, so that's always a problem. Any levels after that, it will actually have a value. Okay. I suppose I could initialize it earlier, so it's not 0. Okay, so let's just do this again, where we put 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. Let's unlock the Yoga Studio. 1, 2, 3. Get that. Close the shop. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah. Let's go. Oh, a nice red circle. So let's see. I'm gonna die quickly. Okay, so that's still the first time block, right? So that means if we are on time block 0, okay, so the chicken would take up the chair in time block 3. But technically we are not even close to time block 3 yet, right? We are still like time block 1. So if I click on this, you should have been removed from that time block, right? Which means if I continue now, you know, and I fight a little bit and I let the time block run out, so we'll test the death stuff as well. But that nice and comfy level 3 couch was not used by him, so it will be available at the start of the next level. And it is fantastic. This is still on cooldown because they weren't selected for the level. They were still there. So only the chicken had to be vacated. Now we can grab him again, and you know, whatever. Let's put him wherever he wants to go, and we'll go fight with the Robin. Okay, we just need to make sure we die before. Let's just see. Wait, we probably won't be able to do that. How much time does this guy have left in the bed? Let's see. Player. Where's player? Am I blind? Okay, yes. I'm a little blind. He's got 9 seconds left. Okay, so we're gonna have to die twice here. Let's go for it. I should really change that zoom thing. Yeah, no, we're not gonna be able to die before he respawns. Let's go find... Is there no red totem? No, it doesn't seem like there is. Okay, I'll just stand here. Quickly, guys. Why are you taking so long? You know, why are they taking so long? Why am I dodging so much? Damn. Oh. It's because the yoga studio is completely broken. And I put her in the yoga studio for 3 rounds. So her dodge chance is 70%. Whoopsie daisies. Okay, so let's see what happens. So he's technically still in the revive station, and I can't get anybody from the revive station. So he's still off limits, which means I could try and choose her, but she's dead. So it's like, no, don't do that. Okay, fine. Let's take the owl. Continue. Okay, so that worked. All of it is working. Have I completed all the functionality of my UI? This is unthinkable. It's impossible. I don't believe it. I do not believe it for 1 second. Okay, so let's see if other things are breaking now. So what should have happened now is the duck should have been kicked from the revive station because it's like, you're fine, cheers. And the robin should have taken his place. So the EMTs would have taken her in and kicked him out, right? Technically, theoretically, they have. Fantastic. Okay, and we can see this is still on cooldown. I guess I didn't actually pay attention to the time, but I think I did actually grab Stacy over here in the 3rd time block. So that should be on cooldown. Okay, but this is great. Except for the hovering doesn't work so lacquer. I don't know why. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay, before we continue, I'm gonna go use the restroom, grab some more coffee. I'll see you in a minute. I'm back. Okay. Okay, great stuff. Alright, so the one thing I still want to fix is this hovering. Now, what I think is happening, now I don't know if this is the case, so all of the other times I move the icon around. So is this a thing? So I'm not sure. Okay, so the default slot works, right, for some reason, but the other ones don't. How would that make sense, right? If you think about it, so we register the callback for the hover in level prep UI, right? We always add them on the other side, so it might be something with the room slots, maybe. Could it be that this function needs to be public? Hover function? That's so weird, actually. I don't understand how, because I connect this to the icon pointer into event, and the icon is clearly there, so I don't create a new icon or anything. This really doesn't make a lot of sense. So what if we tried... And the icon is still, it still belongs to a specific character, right? So it's gonna know where to go, what to reference, etc., right? It's very strange. Very, very strange. I wonder if we can... How would we test this? Okay, so let's try something. So I'm just gonna do this. What if we did... Okay, so we do ch.icon.register callback, and we do a pointer enter event. Right. Could we just do... I know there's another way of doing this. Is this valid? I can't remember how. or do you do it this way? Do you do it? Is it a plus equal one of those with one of these and some of these? Not quite. I forget my syntax so often, man. It's annoying. Like, I know you could do that with buttons, right? That's how a button works when you click on it. So how does this one work? So just straight up doing the lambda like that doesn't work. Do we do a plus equals there? Oh, man. I know this is possible. I just don't know the syntax. Let's go see. Register callback. Register callback pointer enter event Unity. So how do we handle this? So we can either do my callback like this. Okay. So this is the... Oh, we can do it like that. So you do in brackets EVT pointer. Okay. 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 So it's in brackets event go do something. And then I guess we can do a lambda function, or we can define the function. Okay. Okay, cool. So all we really want to do is show more character stats, right? So we just grab that. Okay, so this character is going to be that character, right? So this is the same thing essentially. Okay, let's see how that goes, what that does. Okay, so that works the same way in here. Okay, let's unlock a few of these. So if I put you into those and I hover over you, it stops working. Okay, so it's something to do with the way the hover is triggered. I don't understand it, to be honest. Like, this doesn't make any sense to me why this doesn't work. Like, what's happening, man? Come on, tell me. Why? This is a slot. This is a slot. If I hover over this icon, it should understand. Right? There's no reason for it to not know where that icon is. I mean, even the default slot, it gets placed in the same way. Okay. You know what? We'll... Yeah, let's just get rid of that. And we'll keep using that to now. Okay, so here's the thing what we can do. We could take a slot. And so we have a slot clicked register that we do. And we could also have another one which is public. Wait, is this a public function? I think it is. Yeah. So we're gonna do slot clicked and pointer, not a down event, but a pointer hover event. So the slot click, public void slot hover, pointer enter event, EVT, and slot, right? Okay, so what do we want when a slot is hovered? Now, not a lot of stuff, but one of the things we should do is we should display slot information eventually, right? That's one of the things we should do. But I think for now, we can just go through our character list or something like that. So for the slot that we hover, we want to check who's in that slot for that time block. Right, and I think my time block manager dot get character from slot in time block So we just have slot. So what we can do is something like more character stats. So we can just literally show the character stats. So let's say character ch in slot equals not that. Well, actually, yeah, no, it's equal to that, and then if ch in slot not equal null, we do all this stuff. We can get rid of this stuff. So now okay, so now we can update the more character stats with the specific character that is returned, right? This is in fact doing. So you just get a slot and it goes through all the slot characters in the specific time dictionary. And if the slot is exactly the same, if it's not equal to null, okay, we need to be careful here because those get now this thing is gonna return yeah, no, this thing is returning stupid stuff. So let's have a different one. So this is for clicking. So level, prep UI, character, hover. So let's actually do a okay, for now we can do this. Have a character. In slot for time block. Yeah, we can return null, so we take a slot. Okay, and all we have to do is essentially go through the slots. Slot character in time block dictionary. Current viewed block, not just the current block. So if the slot is equal to the slot, so if we find the correct slot, right? If we find the correct slot, okay, wait, there's some issues here. So we find the correct slot and then we just check if the slot character is not equal to null. Well, actually, if we find the correct slot, we could just return the slot character, right? Okay. Just return the slot character. If we don't find the slot at all, that's a bit weird. Yeah. It's fine. Okay, so we just return the slot character. Sometimes the character is not okay, so this is character in slot from time block. Okay, so this is actually what we want. Not this one. Okay, so this is just slot hover. Okay, and the slot hover, we should register slot clicked, and we can just register the slot hover as well. Register call back. pointer enter event. Okay, dot slot hover. This, yep, straightforward. Just like that, all the slots will do this. And I think the room slots do the same thing, or is this one new? Okay, yeah, no, it's a bit different. Register callback, pointer, enter event. Hover, slot hover. This, there we go. That's it. Okay, so now if I hover over a slot and there's a character in it, I'll also see the information. Or I should also see the information, so let's just give it a go. Okay, so hovering over the characters, that works. No problem. Okay, so if I put him there, and go back to slot 1. Okay, so let's see, I hovered over Stacy, Joel will be like, whoops, Rob. Ah, there we go. Can totally see Rob. Okay, that's perfect. We should also maybe... Okay, let's unlock just a couple more here quickly. Okay, we can just go through this quick. So those are taken or reserved. Okay, but now I can still see all of their stats. And if I take you in there and I go die quickly, I should be able to hover over them, see what their deal is before I click on them. Yeah, so this changes. That's good. Right, that's exactly what I want. Now I can click on one and it's like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? Or I can still hover over them. Okay, great stuff. Now if I click start level, it's like, no, you can't do that. Okay, but I can click continue. And it works fine. Now she's dead. Daisy's dead! No. Yes, like these guys are flippin' strong. Oh, this is interesting. How did Stacy end up in that slot? That's a bit funny, I'm not gonna lie. So it seems like the playing actually works with it. There was a little bit of a funny business happening there now. We should just maybe go check out what that is about. Okay, so now, okay, so this is proper reset. Okay, so it seems like if there are more than one characters to die in a level, okay, so I can't click on Stacy because she's dead. Rob is dead. I can only click on Joel. Okay. got it just in time. Okay, we give them level ups. Okay, so what happened? Okay, so it took... Yeah, it just went from the top, right? Okay. So Pete now has some health. Joel's a little bit worse for wear. And Stacy's still dead. Right, but we can take Joel and put her in the nice chair and this like that. And we can take this oak and go fight. Okay. I don't think she has a lot of health regen, so it's not going to go very fast, but anyway. Okay, yeah. She rested a little bit. Oh, jeez. He got kicked out of the... Oh, no, wait. What? Okay, something funny happened there. So... Okay, so Rob got kicked out. Stacy got revived. And then... kicked out immediately. That's very interesting, to say the least. Okay, that's a funny one. Like, how do I reproduce that even? Like, I don't know how to reproduce that at all. So it seems like, what would have caused that? So let's think about it. So when he got moved out, Stacy, who's dead, so I couldn't select her previously. So only at the end of the level should the characters be moved about. Was there something with... Okay, wait, let's click on wizard character. How did this happen? Okay, so it seems like Stacy basically got respawned because her current health is 1, but their respawn timer... So if you look at anybody else who died, right? So the Chicken Knight died. His respawn timer is -1, which means it did count down and it kind of overshot, right? And then he respawned. The Ranger is at 0, which makes more sense. Your respawn at -1 for the Duck, right? Because... typically when you die, only when you die, your respawn timer gets set to 30. So something, somehow, revived Stacy, but I don't know what. Like, what could have done that? Because she wasn't in the revive station. Let's go see. So in character data. Okay, so we have is dead. So this was obviously okay. So this has a ton of values. So we can only when do we actually change this? So we check for is dead a lot, right? Something sets it. So false, false. Okay, true. So this is where we die, right? So that makes sense. So the respawn timer would obviously set it to false, but something else had to do that. Or something else set... Yeah, like the respawn timer is still greater than... zero, so is dead this would not have been possible. What the hell? Okay, so 158. So that's here. So that's fine. So that made it false. Something else makes it false. Oh. Oh, is this still working? Oh wow, this is still working. So there's a wave limit. She just respawned because she was dead for 2 waves. What the hell? I forgot that this was even a thing. So it was counting how many, like when she died, the current level. So it went, she died on level 1. The current level was level 3. She was still dead. And it was greater than the respawn wave amount. So she got revived. My greatness. I completely forgot that this was even a thing. That's fantastic. Wow. Okay, so there was another way to revive them, it seems like. Interesting. Wow. Okay. That's kind of crazy. Well, we've done it, right? We kind of did all the UI updates that I was really interested in doing. Now, it doesn't look good, right? But at least we can now hover over characters to see their stats, hover over slots to see the character stats contained within it. We can select a character, continue. So what else do we really need to change? So I think the one thing is this time block drop downs kind of shit, right? I don't really like it. So let's change it up a little bit. So I'm gonna add a visual element here. All right. So it's going to be next to all of these in some way. I'm going to put the time block drop down inside of it, right? And I'm just going to call it like time blocks, or just something like that. Let's say time block button thing. Time block buttons, right? So here's the idea. So we have time block buttons. We have our drop down inside. I'm gonna actually take this drop down. I'm not gonna remove it. I'm just gonna make it not visible. And then I am gonna add 3 buttons instead. Whoops-a-daisies. What did I just do? Did I add a random button somewhere? Doesn't seem like I did. Okay, so I'm gonna add a few buttons here. Okay, we're going to take time block buttons. We're going to arrange them differently. Hello. Oh my word, okay. Apparently I can't click that button. So we want to arrange them like that. And we want to allow them to fill up all the space. Sort of. Let's just put them in the center. That looks good. Could we give them the menu buttons? Yeah, something like that. I don't think so. What do you have? Yeah, also a menu button. Yeah, I mean, I want that, but let's. Okay, let's put menu buttons on here. Okay, something like that, and then we just want to do. If I change the text size for this, does it change it? I don't think so. Yeah. We need to add another one here so we can do time block buttons. Right, and we can just add them there. Okay, so time block buttons then. What? Why? Why would you do this? Oh my word. Oh, I hate this so much. Anywho, so time block buttons, we just grab this and we change the text size. Let's make it like 20. Right, there we go. Okay, we'll obviously take these time block buttons and we'll just give them some spacing here. A little bit of a margin. Yeah, something like that. All right, so we have our time block buttons. This would be time block block 1. I don't know if that's a good name, but block 3. Okay, so block 1, 2, 3. Now, okay, so time block button _1. Okay, so we just rename these. Okay, this is 3, and then this one would be 2. Now, what do we want to do with this? So instead of having the drop down, now I think what we're going to do is we're going to click the buttons. The only thing would be so when we click the buttons, we obviously want to change their appearance based on the selection. Right, so it needs to be highlighted. So I guess what we can do is we can do time block button clicked or selected. Okay. And what we can do is let's put this on like block 1, for instance. So do I literally have to change add and remove? So if I understand this correctly, I don't know. But is the idea that I add and remove classes to this thing? I don't know. But anyway, you could say that when they are selected, right, the background color could go like some gray. Yeah, so it's fighting. I think the styles are fighting. Right. So time block buttons, menu buttons, and time block buttons selected are now fighting with one another. Oh no, I'm just changing the wrong thing. Never mind. I am dumb. No, I was changing the background. Yeah, I was changing the background, but it didn't take. Could we do time block button dot clicked? The hovering works. What does focus do? Well, let's click on learn more. I don't know what that does. That doesn't do anything. So if I did dot time time block. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, now I can't find the damn... Okay, just want to try something. So if I do time block buttons, and then I do... Is it colon hover, right? That'll add time block buttons hover. So that is an event that it understands, right? Is there something like clicked? Seems like there is. Okay, so what does that do? So if I go there... Okay, first of all, let's just get this other click thing away. clicked seems to work. I don't know. Maybe there are errors that I just don't see. Pseudo class. Okay, so unknown pseudo class. Okay, so let's go see what other pseudo classes there are. So Unity USS pseudo class. What is there? So we have hover active. Okay, maybe it's that one. Focus selected. Disabled, enabled, checked. Okay, maybe we do radio buttons actually. Okay, maybe that's actually better. Now that I think about it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe a checkbox is better. Or a radio button or whatever. Yeah, okay, let's try that instead. So, fortunately we haven't gotten far. Yeah, so we would do a radio button group and then we'll just add radio buttons. Yeah, so let's get rid of these ones. Delete all of them. So we put in a radio button group instead. Right there. And then we add 1, 2, 3 radio buttons. Yeah, there we go. We got 3. Okay, so our radio button group. Okay. There's a couple of problems here. Okay, so we got our radio buttons here somewhere. They've disappeared. I just saw them. Oh, where are they? What just happened here? There's some weirdness going on here. Okay, so inside our radio button group, we have visual element, radio button group, container. Okay, I should have that in here, right? So we want Unity radio button group. There we go. Container. We want them to put all the buttons like next to one another, right? Fortunately, I can't see them. I don't know why. I know pseudo class clicked. What do you mean? There's nothing clicked. I don't have a pseudo class clicked anymore. Where is that? Like it's been removed. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, nice. So we got our radio buttons. Why does it keep disappearing like that? It's a bit weird. Okay, so radio button. Do they have a style Unity radio button, Unity base field? Okay. So we can look for. Okay, so Unity radio button. Radio button label, maybe that's the one I want. Okay, so let's see. So radio button label. I want to change the text to white. This thing is wonky. Okay, radio button group. So these are just time blocks. Okay, so time blocks. And all the text here needs to be white because I can't see a thing. There we go, make it bold, make it bigger. Okay, so now we got our radio button group, and inside there's a bunch of radio buttons that we cannot see for some dumb reason. I don't understand. Okay, so radio button, text, this could be block. Well, this could just be 1, 2, 3, technically. And the value for 1 is true. And then we can do... Yeah, we can totally do radio button group time block colon. Okay, and then the radio, this we can do time radio time block underscore 1. Air radio time block 1. There we go. Control C, and then we can just rename the rest of them. This will be time block 2. And this will be time block 3. Right, something like that. Now they're way too big. Some dumb reason. Okay. Okay, but there they are. Okay, so this time block does some funny stuff. It is stretching all over the place sometimes, and sometimes it's not. It's not giving me an accurate preview of what it's trying to achieve. So it doesn't grow or shrink. Well, no, it should grow. And it should shrink as well, actually. I don't want it to go bigger. Okay, so that's the one thing. Wait. Where did my radio buttons go? Oh my word. They just disappeared. Now they're back. What is this thing doing? Wow. And if I click on it, they... Okay, you know what? I'm going to run the game. I just want to see what's happening here. If it works at all. Okay, now apparently all my buttons are broken. Okay. I mean, that looks absolutely horrible. That is 1. Oh, jeez, okay. So it is there, it just looks like absolute garbage. Okay. I need to go use the restroom again. Be right back. I'm back. You know what? This time, this radio button is so bad. I wonder if I can't just make my own radio button and make it work way better. Because what exactly does this give me in terms of... Like, I don't know. Like, obviously it switches already, right? It has built-in functionality, right? Putting it in a group. So there's some code happening in the background. But it's actually very straightforward. So all I believe is happening is you have the label, that's fine, and then you have a check mark, which is it's just a visual element on top of a visual element. It's actually very straightforward. This is so easy to build, right? Okay, but anyway, my main problem is this label, I feel like, or the thing itself. I don't know why they are this big. Like, why do they fill up the whole damn place? It's like the container is not containing them correctly. Yeah, because they are just totally overflowing. Like, you can see it's here, it's not like that, but... So it's a radio button group container. Let's see if I grab this thing and I tell it to... I don't know what it's doing. Okay, but the items are just... They are overflowing or something is happening here. It's like it's not forcing them to resize. Okay, this is the label. What are you doing? Okay, this is the button itself. So it should shrink, but it just doesn't care. Yes, I'm doing all those things. I was winning and now I'm losing against radio buttons because it seems like they are just dumb. Like, these things are just not following any of the rules. So they're just going wherever they want. Like, if you click on this block, like, now they just disappeared. Where did all my... I clicked the group and now all my radio buttons are gone. You know what? But I'm not going to deal with the radio buttons. I think I'm just building my own now. It might just be a bug. Like, I've heard that Unity 6 UI Toolkit does have some bugs. And some of them have been addressed with the latest version. I'm just not on the latest version. So that's entirely possible that is the problem that I'm facing. But a radio button is so simple to do. I think I can basically make my own very easily. Because they are very easy to do. Right. And you've taught me how to make things that are you know, interesting. So we can just do let's see. We can go to UI Toolkit, custom elements, and we can just create our own. Let's see, where the hell am I? I want scripting. Yeah, I just want an empty C# script. And this is going to be custom radio. Okay, so there's obviously some code in the radio buttons that I can get from Unity, I'm going to have to implement, but the button itself is pretty straightforward. And it's just selecting the button that I'm going to have to write a bit of code for. Okay, let's open it up. Okay, so this is going to be a public partial class. We're going to extend a visual element, right? We need that other thing. I can't remember what it is. Slot. Let's see. UXML element. This is going to be custom radio button. Okay, there we go. That's it. Then we need a public constructor. Radio button. Voila. Wait, what is happening here? Why is everything upset at me now? How am I messing this up? Oh, I'm using the wrong flipping brackets. Those ones. There we go. Okay, so custom radio button. So, okay, so our radio button will have. It's kind of annoying. It's gonna have to have a lot of custom stuff, but it's fine. It's not great, but it's okay. It's okay. Okay, so basically what we need is a background visual element. So that is the radio button itself, and then we just kind of need a button on top of it, right? Yeah. So we're gonna need a private visual element. We just call it the button. Well, check mark. Right, we can just call it the check mark. And then what we can do is we can do check mark equals new check mark dot add to class list. What are we gonna call this? Custom check mark. Custom check mark, and we want to do an add to class list custom custom radio button. Okay, so those are the two things we need. Okay, so we have a check mark added on top of the button itself. Do we need a label? Not really. I could just build that. I can just make that myself. Yeah, I'm not going to make it too complicated. So this is essentially what I need. So let's just add that. So, okay, so we get a custom check mark. We create a new one. We add it to our class list. Where we still need to add it to the actual element. Add check mark. So now it's a child. Okay, and let's see what this looks like. So we now have this as a custom element. So it's going to be a little bit more wonky. Well, honestly, will it be a little bit more wonky? I don't think so. This is going to be just straightforward, I think. Because it's just going to be simpler. Okay, so this can be my custom radio button holder. Okay, there we go. And what we want to add there is 3 radio buttons. 1, 2, 3. All right, and we want to grab those. Where did it put it there? Okay, so there's our custom radio button. And then in here, we're going to have our custom checkmark. Okay, we can do dot. And there we go. Okay, so I have our button and our checkmark. Okay, so they are all in there. Currently, okay, so this thing, I want you to arrange them like that. And we can space them. Yeah, justify. It's fine. Okay, so let's see. So we take our custom radio button and we can now just do something like give it a background color that's not also black because I can't see black. Let's make it like 100. Well, we can make it just 100% white. Okay, then we can give it a size. Don't know what's happening here. Why is this time block buttons thing so small? Okay, that's better. Now that thing's full size, which means this thing is full size, which means I could just make these. Okay, so they are full size. Now I just need to change the width to something. Okay, we can make, no, not 100 pixels, maybe like 50 by 50. Oh wait, that's not where I should change it, right? Whoops-a-daisies. Unset all. We need to do custom radio button. Yeah. That's the right place. So let's see. Size 50 by 50. Okay, that looks better. Now we can give them some spacing if we wanted. So let's make it like 5 on each side. There we go. We can even give it like a little bit of spacing at the top. Okay, that did not do what I wanted it to. Oh, I guess it's because its height is not auto. So let's just see if its height is auto and I give it spacing. Yeah, okay. So then it will squash itself if it doesn't fit anymore. Okay. Alright, that's fine. We can give them a little bit of a border, like 2, very subtle. And that's our checkbox. Now we can, for each of these buttons, we can then go to the check mark. Okay, and now let's see what the check marks look like. So there's a check mark inside of them. Right, so first of all, the check mark needs to be so let's see, stretch. I
don't know if this changes. Yeah, so it's still very small, it seems like. Is that because they don't grow? Yeah, it might be. Okay, so let's just make it grow to 100 and let's give it a background color that we can see. Okay, black is fine. Okay. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to give it a margin. Okay, so let's say it only fills. Well, okay, let's make a margin that's like, yeah, 15. Yeah, I think 15%, generally speaking, it's not going to look too bad. So something like that, and let's give it a radius of 2 as well. Okay, so that's now how the check will look. Okay, is it amazing? Not really, but it's something. That's my custom checkboxes, right? Okay, cool. Okay, now what we need here. Okay, so we can give the radio. Let's just call it radio block 1. Radio block _1. Radio block _2. Radio block _3. Okay, so that's it. And now all I need to add here as well is a couple of labels, because I need some labels. Now I could have put these. Okay, so just do a label there, 2, 3. So we put a label in front of each of these. Right, and we can just say 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, now these labels, I think I'm gonna add a new selector radio label. Okay, and we're just gonna add it to each of those. Okay, the first thing we need to do is change the text color to just white. Make it bold, make it a bit bigger. I make it like 26. Make it centered, whatever that is gonna help with. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got 1, 2, and 3. Now what we can also do with the radio label maybe is just add a bit of spacing here. Right, like that. So we can check time block 1, time block 2, time block 3. Do we want to add it to the label though? Maybe not. Maybe we add it to our radio button. Right, that gives the same effect. Okay, and what we can also do then, okay, so we could even add a label to this thing and put it in front, and we can give it a this thing will say time block. Well, let's put it like that, and we make it like 22. Alright, something like that. And then maybe our custom radio button holder, we don't center it, we justify it to the side. There we go. And then our time block buttons. This doesn't help at all. Wait, is this thing... Yep, it's growing, and I think I want to override you to be to not have this. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Yeah. Something like that. And now all you have to do is essentially grab each of these visual elements and set them to flex none, essentially, right? But yeah, now we can easily see, and you can click, click, click. Okay. Something like this, right? That looks a little bit better, I think, than what we've had. Okay. Now, unfortunately, since this thing is so custom, we're going to need a bunch of code to make it work. So let's go see. We can either add... Okay, so first of all, radio button clicked, so we can do a public void clicked. Or let's just say select. And we can do a public void unselect. Right? And all these do essentially would be to take the so it takes the check mark dot style dot display, and it sets it to display style dot flex, and this one does display style dot none. Right, that's as simple as that. So selecting and unselecting a radio block, a radio button, essentially does that. Right, but now we need a little bit of a radio custom radio button manager thing going. So let's see how we want to go about doing that. So I think since it's in the level prep UI, so what I'm essentially going to do, I think, is add a new script here. Yeah, so where would I add this? In scripts. So in scripts, UI, I guess that's fine. Yeah, it's great. So this would be mono behavior script. Why not? So this would just be custom radio button manager. Okay, so something like that. And then we wait. Okay, so what do we want this thing to do? So inside our level prep UI, wow. Okay, so we add a component, which is the custom radio button manager, essentially. Okay, and what we need, okay, so first of all, we need a function which is public void init custom radio buttons. Right, so we initialize this at some point. Right, and what we need, I guess I'm going to get a visual element. And this is going to be actually the radio button holder, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so if you think about this, how would we... So we get the radio button holder, so that would be let's say, okay, so that's going to be this thing, right? And it's going to look for, did I need to loop through it, or I need to look for the different radio buttons inside of it, right? If I want to make this thing super reusable, that is. I don't have to make it super reusable, but it would be kind of cool. I wonder if I could just do a loop through a visual element. Could I do that? So I could do radio button holder dot children. What does that do? Returns the element from its content container. I've done something like this before. Don't know if this is really a thing though. Okay, we could also do int amount. Okay, just the amount of buttons, and then we can do for int I less than amount, right? We can loop and we can say we can do a string radio button name equals string dot format, and we do something like radio block underscore I plus 1. Oh, there needs to be a comma. There we go. I think that's how I named them. Okay, let's rename them. Let's name them radio button underscore number. Yeah. So 2, and this one is 3. Okay, now each of the radio buttons are named radio button 1, 2, 3. Okay, save. Okay, so radio, not block, but button. So we'll go through, okay, so if we want to initialize custom radio buttons, we need to give it a radio holder and the amount. That's great. And okay. Now we should have a private int button number, right? And we should have a public int get button number. Right. And I think we should also have a public void setup, or let's just say init button. Okay, and the first thing we need is an int button number. This dot button number equals to button number. Right, something like that. So initializing the button, we need to give it a button number, right? So we can know which one was clicked at which point. Okay. And the button keeps track of its own number. Right, okay, so this is what we do. So we go through all the button numbers, and then we do... do we do a list of buttons? I guess we could. We need to do a couple of things with the buttons, right? So we go through this, and we need to get each of these buttons and keep a reference to them. So it would make sense if we had a list of, not a list view, just a list of type custom radio button, right? Okay, apparently. Yeah, do that. Okay. Okay, we can just call it that. And when we initialize, we create custom radio buttons equals new. There we go. We just create a new list. And then we go through here and we essentially do the following. Okay, custom radio button, not a new one, equals radio button holder dot queue. We need a custom radio button name, right? So we grab the name. That's good. So now we have the button, and now we add it to the list, right? Or we can do radio button dot init button, and we give it a number, right? So the button will now have a number, so it's unique. Okay, that's good. We add it to a list. So okay, so we have all the buttons added to a list. So we have references to the buttons. What we can also do is we can register a callback to the button. Right, so we can do radio button dot register callback, and I don't really know what we wanted to do. So okay, so it's going to be a pointer click event, or pointer down event, right? So that's fine. Do we also do a custom radio button? Maybe. Alright, so let's think about that. So if we had a function called public, well, it doesn't have to be public, but private void radio button clicked. What does it do? So radio button clicks should take a pointer down event, EVT, and it should take a custom radio button, custom CRB, custom radio button. So it grabs the button, right? So we can totally call the radio button clicked, and we can give it this radio button. Okay, great stuff. Okay, so if we click it, we have information about it. So the first thing we potentially want to do is we want to do a for each custom radio button in our radio buttons. We want to do radio button dot unselect, right? We want to unselect all of them, and then our custom radio button we actually want to select. Okay, so we want to select the custom radio button. Okay, and we can also say that there is this must be private, I guess. There could be a private int current active radio button. Right, current active radio button. And when we initialize that, so when we start off, we say current, no, active radio button is number 0. And we do custom radio button, no man, custom radio buttons element 0 equals dot select. Right, so we just make sure it is selected at the end. So we initialize all of this, we get the first one, we select it, right? And we make our current active radio button equals 0. Right, so this is what we do at the start. Yeah, and then every time we click our radio button, we do current active radio button equals custom radio button dot get button number. Right, so we just get the button number and we set it equal to that. Right. Okay, so that's what happens when you click a radio button. And we can have here a public void get selected radio button number, and it just returns current active radio button. Okay, and this returns actually an int. Okay, something like that. I don't know if this is everything I'll need, but it's certainly a few things that I'll need. Okay. So in our level prep UI, at some point, I guess on enable, yeah, we can do, okay. We need to think about this. Do we need a reference to this thing? To some extent, we might. Okay, get component. We want to get the custom radio button manager dot init custom radio buttons. Okay, so we need to know the holder, so we can give it root dot dot q. This will be a visual element, and the name of the visual element would be radio. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's go check. Custom radio button holder. Okay, so that's the name. Okay, so that's that is that part, and the amount is 3. We have 3 radio buttons. Okay. So we get the manager, we initialize the radio buttons, we give it the holder, and we give it the amount of radio buttons. Okay, that should work out. And then the next thing we would want, do we want to get this as a, you know what? Do we want to make it public also? I don't guess so. I don't know. Private, custom radio button manager, custom radio button manager. So we can just grab this and say custom radio button manager is equal to that stuff. right? And then we can do that, and then we can do this. Okay, so we get it, and then we initialize it. So this is nice if we want to figure out which button is actually active at the moment. Okay, so it's now, we got it, we initialized it in our level prep manager. Now we might also have to do something like this for our time block manager. Yeah, we definitely do, actually. We definitely do. This is the whole point. Okay, yeah, so we can do this, and we can do private custom radio button manager equals that, and then that should work out. So we get it. So we can grab it. It's initialized by the level prep UI. Good. Okay. Now, this is now where it gets interesting. So current viewed block, all that good stuff. Okay. So inside of this, so we can get the selected radio button. We can also do a public void set select. Yeah. No, it was completing it for me. Public set selected radio button number. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, so this could happen. Right, so there are situations where we set it externally. We just need to be careful about this. So, but let's see. Okay, so for each custom radio button in... okay, so we unselect all of them. Okay, we can do if... okay, so let's see. Select radio button. So if we get the radio button get button number, so if it is actually the one that we want to select, we want to do that specific radio button. We want to do select on, and then we want to do continue. Right, we're going to continue to the rest of them. So if it is the one that we want, we continue. Otherwise, we just unselect everything. Okay, so that's just to change the visual of the selected button. Okay. And we should also do current. We should also do current active radio button is equal. You know what? Actually, we do that regardless, right? So we do that at the end. So the current active radio button will become the number that we inserted here. Oopsie. Okay. So let's go check out our time block manager. So right here, when we initialize, the current viewed block is equal to 0. Update time block visual, that's fine. Okay, so this is essentially what we are replacing by custom dot set selected radio button number to 0. Okay, so we set it so the visuals are happening the way we want them. That's all good. Now we need to be careful here because normally we had an event. Let's see, an event. Yeah, we registered a callback, so that means we had an event. So maybe we should... Yeah, radio button click is over here, so we should just pass that along. Okay. Event. Event handler. Right, radio button. Well, let's just call it on. Well, yeah, on radio button clicked. Yeah, I'm making things way more complicated than I need to, but you know, that's what it is. So radio button clicked, then we can do on radio button clicked, invoke this event args dot empty, right? So we invoke it like that. Okay, so this thing needs to listen to that. So after we do this, we do custom radio button manager dot on radio button click plus equal boom boom. Okay, we don't get event args, I guess. It's okay. So every time that happens, we want to do a bunch of things. So let's go see what we normally did. Okay, so first of all, we just set everything when we initialize. That's fine. So let's see. Normally, okay, let's go check where we registered our callback. So this guy over there. Oh, wait. I highlighted the wrong thing, so it's never going to show me. Yeah, okay, so I want to go here. So drop down callback. Yeah, so we just did this, right? We just showed block number. So let's just go to our new event that we're listening to. Okay, so block number, we don't need to calculate that because it's not a string. Okay, so what we can do here is custom radio manager dot get selected radio button number. Right, so when we get this, we can just ask it, Joe, which one did you actually click now? So show time block. So show time block, so let's say it's, you click on the first one, that's button number 0. That'll show the time block. Okay, so this sets it up. Then it will show the time block. I don't care about the drop down. Okay, I don't think we want the next time block button anymore. I don't like that. Yeah, no. Well, I think this is kind of going to work now, right? So we got all our events sorted. We got our radio button manager. It can do, so all the buttons can keep track of what numbers they are, and then we can go through them, ask them, yo, which number are you? You this number, cool, return. Or select you, you know, whatever. Wait, we could do this way simpler. Oh, wait, we're still gonna have to unselect them all, so that doesn't really make a difference. Ah, whatever, this is gonna work. It's gonna be fine. Let's test it. No errors, that's a big thing. Oh, okay, these buttons. That's because when I was clicking stuff, it kind of moved things around. Okay, so this is still working. If I click on these, I can't really see anything happening. Well, something's happening, look at that. Okay, but let's go to the shop. Ah, you know what, actually. Well, no. Let's open up something. Yeah, let's buy a few things. Okay, so one of the things that's not going to happen, I don't think this automatic jumping around happens. Yeah. Okay, so the viewing works, I can see that, but it didn't jump automatically, so it didn't update this number. So I just need to go check where that happened. Okay. So in our time block drop down, So this drop down field was changed to 1. That's on initialize. That's fine. That happens. Here it's also changed to 1. Okay, so we actually want to do custom radio button manager.set selected radio button number to 0. Okay, so that's fine. So we do that as well. Let's just copy this. Okay, let's go see where else do we change the time block number. Okay, next button, click. I could put it here. So it's just going to be block number. Okay. And value current block +2. So this is, yes. Okay, so this is where I want to do it. Current block viewed ++. Yeah. Well, if you think about it, I think I don't need to do ++, do I? Current block viewed. Doesn't this change it so if I go to show time block, it changes the current view? So what happens first? Which current block view does this thing know about? I'm just curious, like, will it still use the old one or the new one? So do I need to do this ++? I think this worked. Because in this context, the current viewed block has a number, like 1. Even though I pass in the number 2 then, it doesn't actually update this for this specific context. I think this will work. Let's go check. Okay, I think I've got enough stuff unlocked. Okay, so we go there. Whoa. Okay, now I broke everything. Okay, we got something proper broken. Yeah. Yeah, no, something got broken now. Okay, so where was that? Let's try this. And I'm actually just gonna do +1. So it just shows the next one. And I'm gonna do here +2. 1. So let's see, when you click on a time block, if you click on a slot, you change the slot character. If current block, what if we just changed this? Like every time we show a time block, right? I mean, that just makes more sense to me. Right, when we... Why didn't I do it this way? So every time we show a time block, we just do this. We just change the radio button, set selected radio button number. Because we do that anyway. Right, we don't have to do that every time. So we don't have to do it there, we don't have to do that there. Don't have to do it there. Don't need to do it there. Don't need to do it there. Do need to do it there. Okay, can we go from the start? Okay, so this is the only place we do it, and I think that's fine. Okay, we get the number and then we set them. It's okay, it's okay. It doesn't make a difference. It's okay. Okay, let's try it. See if that's better. Okay, next. Okay, let's just go unlock a few. Close the shop, so we click. What is this thing doing? Like, how did the functionality just break now? Ah, you know what? I'm over it. It's been 4 hours. I think I'm just gonna call it that. I get too frustrated with UI. I built my own custom radio button. Now it doesn't work. So there's probably something going on here with the way it calls. I'm gonna have to start putting debug statements in just to understand what it's doing. And I don't really want to right now. So, guys, I think I'm gonna call it there. I will see you probably tomorrow. Cheers.